Hello, thank you for stopping by. I'm so glad you're here. If you're just looking for the recipe, it will be written out in the description down below. And welcome to another video where I test random vintage recipes to see if they are easy to make, tasty to eat, and most importantly, affordable. So let's spin the wheel and see what it's going to have us make today. A lot of work.
Wobble, wobble, wobble.
That was a lot of flippin' work.
I hope it's tasty.
Okay, the PNS Rigatoni and Gin, that is pure and simple. This is a Neiman Marcus cookbook. So it's basically like a similar setup to a church cookbook where Neiman Marcus customers all compiled their own favorite recipes and made a cookbook for whatever charitable organization it was at the time. This is from the early 90s. This is page 202. Okay, we've got rigatoni with gin sauce. It feels very early 1990s. It's calling for ragu, McCormick's Italian seasoning. So it looks like I'm just gonna need a couple of things from the store. I do have some gin on hand. Let's see, do I have enough gin? Let's see, this calls for 8 tablespoons of gin. I don't know if I have 8 tablespoons left in here. You can't really see in the bottle, it's very dark. So, let's see how much I got in here. Yeah, that's 8 tablespoons. Might as well get some tonic and lime too to have a drink with it. Okay, got enough gin. I'm gonna head to the grocery store to get the rest of it. Come back and we'll get started. Back from the grocery store, and this looks like another recipe that's gonna be super easy to make. Hopefully, it is very tasty to eat. All right, let's get started with this recipe. I've got a big pot of water here. Generous amount of salt into that. Some olive oil. I don't know how helpful this is, but that's what the recipe says to do. I'm gonna get this on boiling. And we have a pound of rigatoni. I'm gonna go ahead and put this straight in with the cold water while bringing it up to a boil. I'm not one who waits for the water to boil before I add the pasta. For the sauce, let's see what we got here. See if I can bring you up to see into the pan better. Oh yeah, there we go. Italian cooking sauce, what? It's not a 32-ounce jar of ragu. This is a 24-ounce jar of Muti cooking sauce. It'll have to do. Got a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. Going right on in. This is so much food. I should have cut this in half. But then what am I gonna do with the sauce? What else goes in here? What else? Okay, we got 5 tablespoons of butter. Just putting big old chunks in there. It's gonna melt. 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried basil. I'm just using 1 teaspoon because I got the basil flavored sauce, so 2 teaspoons would probably go pretty heavy on it. There's a 1/4 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. I'm actually using herbs de Provence. It's pretty close in the neighborhood of Italian seasoning. And I'm using 1/2 teaspoon. I'm going heavy. All right, all right, all right. We're gonna need 1 cup of cream. Now we need 5 tablespoons of gin. 8 tablespoons of gin. 1, 2, 7, and 8. It's a lot of gin. I know alcohol cooks off, so it's probably just going to leave it with sort of a floral flavor from the gin. Oh, white pepper. Do I have white pepper? All right. It says white pepper. I don't currently have any white pepper. So a little bit of black pepper in there. And a little bit of salt. I'm going to take this over to the stove and start cooking it down. All right, y'all, this is one of the easiest recipes in the world, and I still managed to mess it up. I was supposed to cook like the sauce for 20 minutes before I added in the cream and the gin. It may have made a subtle difference to wait, but I did what I did. This is my first time trying to cook 2 recipes at once. I'm doing the buttermilk pie and this rigatoni with gin sauce recipe both at the same time, and I'm a bit scatterbrained, so making mistakes, but it's not a big mistake. It should still taste pretty good. Rigatoni is cooked. Let's drain that. And I'm putting this back into the pan it came out of, because this is a nice big saucepan. And the pan I'm cooking the sauce in is not big enough to mix the pasta and sauce together. Okay, pasta is cooked. The sauce I was simmering for about 30 minutes, stirring it. It is still really thin. I think that is because I used the wrong proportions. I didn't use enough of the regular pasta sauce. So there's a little bit too much tomato sauce, too much heavy cream in proportion to the regular pasta sauce. All right, with the remaining gin, I'm going to make myself a little drink to go with dinner. Lunch, actually. Oop. Some gin, some cucumbers, and tonic. Serve myself some of this. All right, well, this certainly looks appetizing enough. Nothing wrong with it at all. I don't know how special it is. The only really interesting part of this is the addition of the gin, and I'm not sure how much that's going to show up. But let's give it a taste. It is really good, actually. There's a really nice, like, herbaceous flavor to it. It's hard to say if that is the dried herbs you put in there, if that's the basil flavoring from the pasta sauce, it's the gin, or if it's all of them together. It's probably a combination. It's very savory. It's got the heavy cream. It's got butter in there. I was expecting nothing special. It's pretty tasty, pretty easy to make. I want to add that I know absolutely nothing about either genuine Italian or even Italian American food. I am completely clueless when it comes to any of that. It's not something I grew up with. Pizza Hut was about as Italian as it got in my household growing up. Please forgive me if someone else sees this and they're offended by it for any reason. I think it's really tasty. Looking at the affordability, we have a total cost of $16.47 for this recipe. A couple of big areas where I spent were the muti pasta sauce. You could probably use the ragu that the recipe recommends and save yourself a couple bucks there. The heavy cream, you could probably replace that with milk, save yourself a few dollars, maybe even evaporated milk if you wanted the richness. That could be a good option. And the gin, I figured in $2 worth of gin, 8 tablespoons. That's kind of a wild guess, but I was using the expensive Hendrix gin. So if you had a more affordable gin, that would also bring down the cost quite a bit. But even as it stands, it's $2.05 a serving if you get 8 servings out of it, which you do. It's not going to be your full course. It doesn't have a meat to go with it. So you probably want to serve like a salad and a meat to go with this. And you'd have a nice little well-rounded meal. It is totally fine to serve as a meal on its own. It's definitely going to be my lunch. But if you wanted like a substantial dinner, you'd need to add the sides. So this is easy to make even when you follow the directions correctly, which I did not. It is tasty to eat. It would probably be a little bit tastier, again, if you followed the directions. Probably be a little bit more subtle flavor and a little bit thicker of a sauce. And it is reasonably affordable. Not the cheapest option for what you get, but it's very tasty. So that's all for this video. If you have liked it, please give it a thumbs up. That helps more than you can know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the future.